Hello and welcome to my March 2026 wrap-up. I am going to be trying to look something a little different today with my wrap-up, because usually, I have my tier list and whatever. Today, I think I'm just going to go through each category, so I'm going to start with like podcasts and then albums and then movies, shows, etc. And I'm just going to talk about them. Within each category, I will go from my least favorite to my favorite, but yeah, they're not going to be tier listed. I do also have like a little script I wrote. My script is basically my star rating, how I ordered it within its category, like what my favorite to least favorite was, and then just a couple notes I didn't want to forget to talk about. But yeah, I wanted to try it like this because I feel like it would be easier for me in the long run to do it like this. So I'm trying to, I'm going to see how I like it, and this might become the new status quo for monthly wrap-ups. So anyway, getting started with podcasts. I have two. Second was Back to the Bar, actually, this month. Back to the Bar, I gave 4 stars this month. I don't know, I think my hype for like my Dance Moms fixation slowed down altogether. I didn't watch a new season of Dance Moms this month. I haven't been listening to much Back to the Bar. I listened to it a little bit at the beginning of the month, but the last couple of weeks I haven't listened to it at all. I will say I have been into listening to music more than podcasts lately, so that could probably also have something to do with it. Also, I was a little bitter that I didn't get to go to the live show. A little bit about that. Again, if you don't know what Back to the Bar is, Back to the Bars is a Dance Moms recap podcast with 2 of the moms from the show, Christy Lucchese, Kelly Highland. They recap what happened behind the scenes during each Dance Moms episode, go through the episode, talk about their thoughts and feelings, etc. And then actually beating out Back to the Bar this month was Clues with Kayla Moore and Morgan Absher. Clues I gave 5 stars this month. If you don't know what Clues is a true crime podcast. They go through different cases, and at the end of each podcast episode they highlight a missing person of the week. I really appreciate that. It keeps eyes on their specific cases. Yeah, I just really got back into it. I think I'm also like overall more back into like true crime. I'll go through like phases where I'm like really into true crime and then I'm not, then I'm really into it and then I'm not. So I think I'm like at a, like with all my fixations, I think I'm at a point again where I'm like more inclined to want to listen to it. But yeah, I was really enjoying it this month. They did a couple of good podcasts. I listened to some old ones. There's this one that I just cannot get through for the life of me though. I don't even know what the name is, but it's a 2-parter one. And every time I start it, like I cannot get through it. I think I'm gonna have to skip that one, but all the other podcast episodes I have been thoroughly enjoying from them. Then moving on to albums, I only have one album this month, and it was the Laugh of the Showgirl album by Taylor Swift. I gave it 5 stars once again. One of my favorite albums. This is her technically 12th studio album if you're not including her re-recordings. Yeah, like I said, again, I've just been listening to a lot more music lately. Mostly that music has been in playlist form though, like mix playlists and stuff like that. I love this album. I do think it is my favorite Taylor Swift album, honestly. Yeah, again, 5 stars. Some of these things I'm not gonna have a lot to say about because like I have covered them extensively in other recaps. So for movies, I have one movie and it was K-Pop Demon Hunters. You guys know this is my favorite movie of all time. I gave this 5 stars. I did fall off the hype a bit. I was still buying a ton of merch because, apparently I just have money to spend. But I was still buying a ton of merch and I was still listening to the songs religiously. But I didn't watch the movie for a couple of weeks. And I watched it again, still loved it, still amazing, still one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Again, like a lot of these I'm not gonna have something to say about because I've already covered them extensively in other videos. And then for shows, I had 3 shows I watched this month. So my least favorite, but still very good, like my least favorite show, which is the one I'm about to talk about, my least favorite show was still a 4-star watch, which is pretty good. And it was Friends Like These, The Murder of Skylar Neese. This is a Hulu documentary show, and usually I feel like Hulu doesn't do a good job with their true crimes. I feel like they can be very exploitative. They are one of the worst ones in my opinion. But for whatever reason, this one I felt was very genuine and honest and not exploitative. It actually felt like they cared. So I did appreciate that. I gave it 4 stars again. It is a true crime documentary if you can't tell. 3 episodes, I believe. It follows these group of girls in high school, and one day one of their friends goes missing, and the friend's parents are calling around. They're calling specifically her two best friends. Her name is Skylar Niece. She goes missing. Her parents are like worried about her, so they call her two best friends. I don't know their names. Who cares about her friends' names? But they call them and they're like, no, we haven't seen her. I mean, like, we snuck out the like last night or whatever, and like something just isn't right. And eventually you find out that her two best friends snuck out with her to unalive her. So it follows that case, like the build up to it and then what happened and then solving the case. The documentary kind of goes back and forth between like before the case and then after. And I thought this one was very well put together. I thought it was very genuine and heartfelt. It didn't feel exploitative to the victim's family, so I did appreciate that. And then at number 2, I have Bridgerton Season 4. This one I also gave 4 stars to. This one follows Benedict and Sophie. Sophie is a maid and Benedict, he is obviously a Bridgerton brother. He is the second son. He meets Sophie one day at a masquerade ball. She's pretending to be nobility, and then he never finds out her name, so he's searching for her, but then he meets her one day again at a friend's house when she's working as a maid and saves her from a bad situation, offers her a job with his house, slowly falls in love with her there again. It's Bridgerton, you know what it is. It's a bodice ripper romance. I really liked this one. If you know me, you know that I am not the biggest fan of Benedict's book in the Bridgerton series. It's actually my least favorite Bridgerton book. It's one of my least favorite books of all time. It annoyed me so much. I didn't like his book. So I was very nervous going into the season because it follows him and his story. But I really liked it. I feel like the changes they made Benedict more likable. I will say it kind of made the rest of his family more unlikable. I loved the side plots. I loved seeing working class side in this time period as well, because we've only seen the nobility so far. We have not seen like any of the servants' lives or whatever, so I liked seeing that side of it as well. Yeah, I liked it better than the book. I did film my reaction and I'm slowly putting those out on my TikTok, so go follow me on TikTok. Link is in my Linktree down below. But yeah, I really like this one. I thought this was a lot better than the book, and I think it's actually one of my favorite seasons of Bridgerton so far. And then lastly, at number 1, I have season 1 of The Secret Life of Mormon Wives. I gave this 5 stars. I know there is a lot going on with The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives right now, so I watched season 1 a while ago, and I did really like it then, and I intended to keep watching. I just never did. But with everything that's come out, I had wanted to catch up so that way I can kind of be more in the know about the drama and what's going on exactly. So I restarted watching it, and I did film my reaction to season 1. Currently I'm watching season 2, filming my reaction to that. Those will be out on my TikTok as well. But I do just want to say, like, so much is going on and it feels like something new is coming out every single day with these people. I just want to put my condolences out for the kids involved in each of these situations. It sucks to be them. I feel so bad for them. They did nothing wrong, and yet, like, their parents' business is being splayed all over the internet. But yeah, I was really liking season 1. Like I said, I'm in the middle of filming season 2's reactions. Those will be out on TikTok. Moving on to video games, this was actually a pretty heavy gaming month for me. I have 6 total. Games is the biggest category that I have. So starting off at number 6 with 2 stars, I replayed, and I don't know why I did, because it's known that I hate this game and this game series, but I did replay Animal Crossing New Horizons. I started a new island because every time I try to get back into this game, I just feel the need to start a new island, and lo and behold, I hated it. I hate it. I am still trying to play it. I do blame this on a game that I will talk about later in this video. I think we can all guess what it is, but the reason I started replaying it was because I played this other game this month. Again, we'll get to it later, but you can probably already guess what it is. And it made me be like, wow, like it was compared a lot to Animal Crossing. So I wanted to pick Animal Crossing back up and see it, and I couldn't stand it. I am really, really, really trying to give Animal Crossing a fair chance though, so I am going to continue to play some more of it. Unfortunately for me, I'm not enjoying it. I don't like Animal Crossing. I don't know what it is about it, because I like cozy games, and there's a lot of games that get compared to Animal Crossing that I love, It's just something about Animal Crossing I don't like, and I don't know what it is. At number 5, we have Pokemon Omega Ruby. I gave this 3 stars this month. I'm just kind of getting bored with it. I did everything besides like shiny hunting and leveling up all my Pokemon to 100. So that's all I've been doing in the game recently, and like it's just very repetitive and boring at this point for me. I think I might need to take like a step back from it and like give myself a break from Pokemon Omega Ruby so I don't completely burn myself out on it and start hating it, because again, this is like one of my favorite Pokemon games, so I would hate for me to like completely burn myself out on it. So I think I might need to take a step back and calm down a little bit with the Pokemon Omega Ruby. Because I was playing it like every day, but again, it was just like the same stuff I was doing every day. I wasn't doing anything new. Which you can argue is like that in every Pokemon game. Anytime you're like, no matter where you are, you're just doing the same stuff, but you know what I mean. At number 4, I have Pokemon Leaf Green. This has 4 stars. I'm still hunting that fucking Bulbasaur. That's the only thing I've done in this game is hunt that fucking Bulbasaur. I can't ever find a time to actually sit down and hunt. Anytime I go to hunt Bulbasaur, it's more like, oh, I have like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Let me just get a couple encounters in. So like, I'm not that far into my hunt. I don't even think I'm at like 1,000 encounters, but I'm having fun just chilling, casually hunting whenever I have a couple spare minutes, and there's nothing wrong with that. At number 3, we have Sharkbait. I gave this 5 stars. Again, I'm trying to get the legendary ending with the great white shark, because that's my boo, that's my babe, that's my king. But I have started, so there's this thing in Sharkbait where you can like replay chapters, but you can like click play for fun, so like they don't count toward like your actual like points you accumulate in the actual game when you're playing. I have been going back to a couple of those and exploring other options, and I have been fairly enjoying myself doing that as well. I am almost done replaying the game for the legendary ending with the great white. We'll see if I get it. If I don't get it, like that would be the most disappointing thing in the world, because you know how much time, effort, and money I put into trying to get this legendary ending. Oh my god. At number 2, we have Resident Evil Requiem. This is 5 stars, and no, I haven't beaten it yet. Again, we will get to why in just a moment. I haven't beaten it yet, but I haven't beaten it yet because I got distracted by a different game that I have been putting all my time and effort into this month. We can probably guess, but we will get there in a minute. But I haven't finished it yet, but I have slowly, there have been a couple of days where I've like sat down, I was like, you have to at least play like an hour and a half or like 2 hours of Resident Evil Requiem. So I have slowly been getting through more and more of the story. I haven't sat down and finished it yet. Maybe I'll do that this month. Maybe I'll like have a dedicated day where I sit down and like just beat Resident Evil Requiem. I am enjoying it, and every time I do play it, I am loving it. It's just, I'd rather be playing this other game more. But Leon is hot as hell, so that's very compelling to me. I do love the balance of like horror and action in this game. It feels very much 4 in my opinion, which I love Resident Evil 4. I also really like Resident Evil 2. It reminds me a lot of that. I will say I did play in third person perspective for both of them, because like, you're not going to catch me switching back and forth between perspectives. I'm sorry, you're not. And then at number 1 for video games, the game that has been ruining my life, has been distracting me from Resident Evil, has been the reason I started replaying Animal Crossing, has been the reason I don't really want to go out and do anything on my days off. Like, I don't want to sit out and enjoy like the sunshine whenever we have it. I don't want to like hang out with my friends. I just want to sit at home and play Pokopia. I have seen this pronounced a couple different ways, by the way. I say Pokopia, I see people say Pokopia. I don't really care. I want to say Pokopia. That's what sounds great to me, so leave your hate comments down below if you hate that. But yeah, this is a 5-star game. I have over 45 hours in it. If you've been following me on my Instagram, Lemonade, or TikTok, you will see that I have been doing like regular photo dumps of Pokopia, so go follow those below. Again, all links are in my Linktree. I am almost like, I haven't rolled credits yet in this game because like I'll get fixated on one part, like getting all the Pokemon of a certain habitat or like building up this one area. So I haven't rolled credits yet, and I'm 45 hours in. But oh my god, I've been loving this game. I'm obsessed with it. My friends all know I'm obsessed with it. They're like, girl, calm down. I got it launch day, obviously, and I had the Ditto rug because I pre-ordered it. Yeah, I'm like right now just trying to figure out like how I want my cities laid out. I need to focus more on rolling credits, but I'm more concerned about how my city is laid out. I will say over the last couple of days, I have been not reaching for Pokopia as much anymore. So I think my hyper fixation where all I do is play Pokopia from rising to falling asleep again is dying down, which is healthy. The same thing happened to me when I started playing Stardew Valley. I would play Stardew Valley when I like on my days off, from like the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. and that one lasted a week. Pocopia, I will say, lasted longer. Pocopia lasted like 2.5 weeks, but it is dying down, so that is good. That is healthy. And then lastly, we have books. I did only read 4 books this month because I got distracted by Pocopia, but I am still very happy with 4 books. I feel like that's not that bad. So starting off at number 4, I have Storm-Soaked Strangers. This is by Sierra Prin. This I gave 2 stars to. It's basically just an erotica, which was fine, but like the author tried to put in a story and the story confused the hell out of me. So it's about this girl, and when she was in high school, she had something very traumatic happen to her. So then when she became an adult, she found out about this like secret club that you paid like basically a mortgage to, and they give you your wildest dreams, anything you want. And she wants to like reclaim the one night that like everything went wrong for her, she thinks. So she does that, but what she doesn't know is that 2 of the paid actors for her setup were actually there that night, and they've been looking for her ever since that night in high school. Again, the author was trying to add the story, but like the story kind of made no sense to me. I was like, girl, like we know what this is, just get to it. I do think romance books can have plots and have good plots, but I just think in this particular instance, it was not necessary. At number 3, we have Half is Aged by Jeanette McCurdy. This was Jeanette McCurdy's big fiction release. I gave it 3 stars. I'm not going to go too much into it because I do have a reading vlog that I am currently in the middle of editing that will hopefully be out sometime this month in April, so you can go check that out. But yeah, I really enjoyed the beginning and the ending of this book. The middle part is kind of where it lost me. Again, I have a reading vlog coming out, so I'm not going to go too much into my personal thoughts and opinions, but what this book is about, it's about this high school student named Waldo, and she has a very bad home life. She doesn't really have a lot of friends. She has a hard time socializing. So one day when she meets this English teacher at her high school, she just thinks that he gets her, he understands her, he sees her in a way no one has, and she enters a very inappropriate, very predatory relationship with him. I will say something I did like about this book, and I don't remember exactly if I specified this in my reading vlog, but I liked that it focused not solely on Waldo's relationship with him, but like in other ways that her life was kind of falling apart. Like it focused a lot on her home life too, and her friendships, and how like those left something to be desired for her. So I did like that it focused on other aspects of her life as well, not just this one thing, because I feel like it shows that like victims aren't just like victims of what happened to them, they also have other aspects of their life. Like there are other things going on for them. At number 2, I actually have a fan fiction that I read, and it is called A Court of Flames and Forgiveness. This is by My Tears Ricochet 89. You can find this on AO3. I gave this 4 stars. It is a Court of Thorns and Roses fan fiction, and it follows Nesta if she were to marry Eris in A Court of Thorns and Roses instead of ending up with Cassian. So it's like an alternate ending to A Court of Silver Flames. I will say at the end of the fanfic, there are 2 endings. There's one where Nesta ends up with Eris, and there's one where Nesta goes back to Cassian. I liked the Eris one more because the entire story was like leading up to her ending up with Eris. But I do feel like the Cassian one, if you read it, made sense how she ended up there. I do think the Eris ending was the true ending though to this fanfiction. I really liked it. I am a Nesta stan until I die. Nesta is my favorite character in the series. And then Eris is always a character I wanted to know more about because I thought he's what Rhysand wanted to be in A Court of Thorns and Roses, where he was like that sly, manipulative, I do what I want to get myself ahead. But you can tell, like, he didn't enjoy being bad, but he's kind of like Demon Salvador. He didn't enjoy being bad, but, like, he also knew, like, he had to do certain things to get shit done. What I liked about this is that, like, my biggest gripe with Silver Flames was always that, like, Cassian really didn't choose Nesta or put Nesta first ever. And this one, Cassian, like, realizes he fumbled the bag with Nesta. Eris treats her like the fucking queen she is. He goes, no, I see your worth. I know you. Like, I'm not gonna let anyone disrespect you. So yeah, if you are a Nesta stan, if you liked A Court of Silver Flames, but you weren't happy with the way Cassian treated Nesta, I would give this one a read. I highly recommend it. It is, like, the same length as an ACOTAR book, so do be wary of that if you wanted a short, quick fan fiction, but again, I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And then lastly, number 1 for books was My Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book. This is probably going to be on my like favorite books of the year. And I hate saying that like at the beginning of the year, but like when you know. This book was so amazing. I got recommended this by a friend because this is one of her favorite books, and oh my god, reading this book just felt so cathartic. I will say I personally don't consider this a dark romance book. It has dark themes and it has romantic themes, but overall I feel like it's a story of these two characters who do end up in a romance eventually, but it's more about their growth than their romance, if that makes sense. It follows, I don't remember their names unfortunately, but it follows this girl who in high school, she goes to her school building and she's like, I'm gonna jump off, but when she gets there, she sees there's already another boy there who he tells her, hey, neither one of us is gonna jump, but we will meet here every year and see how, and check in on each other's mental health and how we're doing. And then their senior year of high school, he actually does end up jumping. And she never gets over this. And a couple years later, she actually has a run-in with her high school friend who jumped, his older brother, who he's always hated, and he talked shit about him constantly to her, and like just never had a good thing to say. So she like runs into him one day, and she kind of goes off on him, and she blames him for her friend's death. And his brother is like, you listen here, and like lays out that like that's not exactly how things went. But the brother also didn't know that she existed, that his brother had a friend. So they both are like, just what can we learn about her high school friend who died? They're both like, what can we learn about him from each other? And they both never really got over his death. And again, it's 5 years later, and they're both still like living in the past and in that moment. So together they learn more about him, what was going on, but also like they help each other get out of that moment and that time. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. I highly recommend it. Again, I personally don't consider this a romance book. It is considered a romance book, but for me, it's more about the journey both of these people take than their romance. But yeah, that is my monthly wrap up. Again, I was trying something new with just going over them, not tier ranking them, so we'll see how it goes. Again, all my links to all my other social medias are going to be down in my Linktree in the description. If there's anything in this video you wanted to see a more in-depth review on, if there's anything you want me to try to include next month in my April wrap up, please let me know. But other than that, just like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.